In this video, I'm going to show you how to create AI motion graphics even as a complete beginner. 2026 just started and we have gotten one of the most insane moments in all of video editing with AI, and it's getting really popular. It's clear that 2026 is going to be the year where a lot of video editors are going to lose their jobs, but most editors are going to completely miss this opportunity. So don't be one of them. Make sure to watch this video till the end and actually apply what I'm going to teach you in this video. So this is Remotion, and for context, I'm a video editor with over 650 million views on my portfolio, and I've been testing AI tools non-stop for the last 2 years. And so when this came out, I got very excited. I started playing around with it, and I found so many things that nobody is showing. For example, customizing literally every single detail you want inside of your motion graphics with these customizable boxes. How to actually add little details like glows and changing color themes so that your animation doesn't feel vibe coded. How to add your own custom assets, whether that's 3D models, images, videos, or even screen recordings from the internet. And I'll be showing you all of that plus a bunch more stuff that you need to know about Remotion in this video. So let's get started. In order to create our AI images, we're going to need two main tools. Number one, that is obviously going to be Remotion, and number two, we're going to need Claude Code. So if you don't know what these tools are, Claude Code is basically the most powerful AI agent in the world. It can create files, it can edit code, it can run commands, see the entire project, and fix errors. Remotion is going to create the motion graphics using code. And since Claude Code is the most powerful AI coding agent in the world, it will allow Remotion to create these insane motion graphics. And so this is what the Remotion panel is going to look like. You have your timeline down here, you have your compositions up here, a preview window, and extra boxes for customizing minor details, which I'll show you later in the video. If you've tried to create AI animations in the past, you might know that they used to not be so good. But Remotion changed the game entirely. So how does Remotion work? Remotion takes a completely different approach. You see, instead of manually designing each moment in a timeline editor, like it was done in the past in Premiere Pro or After Effects, Remotion is going to write code that says something like, at frame 50, show this text here with this size. And this framework is the big breakthrough. It creates videos programmatically using React and TypeScript. React is a library for building user interfaces through components, because inside of a user interface, we have lots of different components, such as buttons, cards, headers, page sections, etc. That's why this release is a pivotal moment for video editors, because it's using what it's best at, which is code, which has been one of the fastest improving metrics in all of AI. So hopefully now you understand how big this breakthrough actually is. This isn't just another AI tool. And if you're still thinking something like, I'm happy with just using ChatGPT, why should I learn Claude Code, Remotion, how it works, prompting, etc.? Well, because that's how you stay on the cutting edge. And so by watching this entire video and learning how all these different tools work, you will be at the cutting edge, which by the way is exactly the kind of things I teach inside of the editing evolution. So if you're interested, just click the link below the video and I hope to see you inside. But with that being said, let's jump into Claude Code and let's create some AI motion graphics. So the first thing you want to do to get Claude Code is click the link below the video and copy this command right here. And the next thing we have to do is open up a terminal or open up some sort of IDE, such as Cursor, and then open up an empty project. Once you open it up, simply paste in that command in order to install Claude Code. It's going to ask you to sign in through your Claude account or to connect an API. So just follow the login steps that it's going to show you. So once you have it installed, simply type in Claude, press enter, and it's going to open up Claude Code. And that's how easy it is to install Claude Code. The next thing we're going to do is install Remotion and all the prerequisites that we need with it. So the first thing we need is going to be Node.js. I'll leave a link to this below the video as well. And so in order to download it, we're just going to click down here to get Node.js, copy the clipboard and paste that in another terminal, press enter, and it's going to install Node.js. The next thing we need is pnpm. So we're just going to copy this command right here. Once again, paste it into your terminal, press enter, and then we just need fmmpeg. So I'm on macOS, so I'm going to copy this command and once again paste that into your terminal. Now we have a bunch of optional AI features which I'll go over later, but for now we can skip these. So now all we got to do is paste the command pnpm create video, send that off, and this is now essentially the process of downloading Remotion. So I'm going to select a blank canvas, I'm going to add Tailwind CSS, and I'm going to add agent skills as well. And just like that, we have everything we need installed and ready to go. We have Claude Code open, we have Remotion downloaded, now we're ready to create our AI motion graphics. So this is the prompt I'm just going to showcase for the first Remotion scene. Okay, I pasted it into Claude Code. I'm going to send it enter. And again, while that's generating, I just want to explain, use AI to your advantage. I'm just going to allow everything it's going to ask me, but use AI to your advantage, whether that's writing prompts or generating 3D models or trimming out silences from your video. There's so many different things you need to use AI for. All you need to know how to do is understand when to use AI at what moment. Okay, so our composition is now ready. It took 4 minutes to create. And if you want to open it, you can click on this link right here, which will bring up the panel. And so if you are seeing an empty screen like this, don't worry, just click on editing evolution or whatever you have on the left over here as your composition. And as you can see, we have the first version of our animation. So the first thing I'm going to do is change the composition settings. And this is how simple it is. I'm just going to say, change the composition to be 1920 by 1080 in the Remotion project. Send that off and it's going to do it. Now make sure you always specify that you want things done inside of the Remotion project, because I found that sometimes it doesn't actually edit the composition in the Remotion project, right? But anyway, we have the composition changed. That was pretty easy. Now this animation looks pretty simple and it looks AI generated right now. So here's a few tips for this animation not to be AI generated, or at least not to feel AI generated. So I gave it the prompt to change the color theme of the project to have a blue theme and to also add a slight deep glow, like in the image attached, to the text and icons. And so I'm going to download this image right here, and then I pasted it into Claude Code for context. And then I'm going to send that off. Okay, and there we go. Our changes have been applied and the studio should auto refresh. So let's check it out. Okay, I can see that we have blue text, a blue background. This already looks much nicer. It definitely doesn't look as vibe coded as it did a while ago. Now the next thing that's missing in this is some transitions between these compositions. So for that, I created this prompt, which basically creates a reusable transition component. And we can choose which one we want to use, right? So for example, I'm going to use the wipe effect for the first transition. Let's just copy this and let's send it off. And okay, it looks to be complete, so let's check it out. Okay, so the issue right now is that it just kind of starts over here on one frame, but it doesn't extend the last frame. And so this is the last thing that I'm going to show you with these little tweaks, because everyone can do these little tweaks. This isn't hard. I just want to show you how easy this actually is to fix, because this is exactly what used to be so complicated. It's like these little tweaks, right? I told it that this transition only starts in, but it doesn't blend the compositions together. Then I gave it more instructions that needs to extend the end of the composition so that we can get a smoother transition. And now, as you can see, it done just that. It extended the composition. And now these transitions are smoother, much nicer to look at, because both compositions are on screen at the same time and the transition actually acts like it should. And again, this is just one example of the transition. You can have multiple different transitions at different points in the video if you want. But look, I'm not going to bore you. I want to get into the exciting stuff and actually show you how to use this tool to its full potential, because that's what this video is about. So one of my favorite aspects of this tool that I don't see anybody else talking about is using your own assets and actually customizing the scale or position or whatever it is about a specific asset. And in order to do that, we have to click up here on assets in this panel and then import whatever asset we want to use, right? So now we can see I have this editing evolution JPEG. So now I'm going to tell Claude Code to use this JPEG to replace this text, and it's going to do just that. And keep in mind, since it has context and memory and awareness, it also added the glow automatically to the logo, which I asked for many prompts back. And look, if you don't find this crazy, that's totally fine, but we're just getting started here. Later, I'll show you how to add AI videos and AI images and AI audio into these clips, how to create insane map animations with this tool, and I'll basically just push it to its limits so you can see the true potential of it. The final thing I want to show you inside of this effect is how to get the panel of customizing specific granular stuff that we want. So right now, for example, I want to customize the scale, and I could just tell Claude Code to increase the scale, but it's just inconvenient to, prompt back and forth with these small little tweaks, right? And that's why we have a thing that's called visual control. And if you specify add a visual control and afterwards just tell it what you want the visual control of, so in my case, a visual control for the scale of the JPEG image you just added, it's going to do just that. It's going to create a slider, whether that's for scale, positioning, whatever it is. We're going to have a sliding scale for our asset in our video in order to customize it inside of Remotion itself. The only thing you need to do is make sure that you're always at the cutting edge of these tools. And what better way to do that than by subscribing to this channel? Because I don't see any other video editing YouTubers going in as deep into AI as I am. Everyone is doubting this tool and just mocking it for all the bad results, but they don't realize the true potential of it. So by subscribing to this channel, you're going to get recommended more videos like this one to your feed, allowing you to actually stay on the cutting edge. With that being said, we have our granular control. So let's see what that looks like. We have our logo here, and as you can see, we can scale it up, scale it down to whatever size we want. Yeah, I mean, the possibilities with this are going to be pretty insane. I mean, 2026 is going to be crazy. But look, that was the easiest animation that I'm going to show you today. Now, I want to show you this animation that's on screen right now. But before I do that, let me explain to you what MCPs are, because they are what is going to power this animation. So what are MCPs? Well, an MCP is a way to give Claude Code extra abilities by connecting it to external tools and services. And there are many different tools that you can use. You can connect it to GitHub, Slack, Google Drive, Playwright, etc. And I think you can see why this is going to improve our animations. But you need to use the right MCPs. And so here are some of the best MCPs I've found in order to create these AI animations. So the first one we're going to use is 11 Labs AI Voice. I'm sure you've heard of it. We're also going to use Replicate for AI videos and images. Now, Replicate itself technically isn't an MCP, but we can still use it to connect to Claude Code in order to generate AI images and videos, which is exactly what we're going to do. because as you can see, they have a ton of different models that we can use. And then there's also Playwright MCP, which lets you control web browsers, Chrome, Firefox, Safari, programmatically with code. And this will allow us to take screenshots and screen recordings for us to import into the video. Now, there are even more tools that we can use. For example, Mapbox, which I'll show you later, it's just a really good tool for all these satellite images, maps, etc. For example, this map over here was generated with Mapbox and then imported into Remotion. So in order to download MCPs, you're going to need Node.js 20+, which I showed you how to install already, PNPM, which you can download with this command, Claude Code, of course, and FMPEG, which you can download with this command right here. So firstly, I'm going to connect to Replicate. So the first thing you're going to have to do is just go to replicate.com, create an account. Once you have that, go up to API tokens, add a token name, and click on Create Token. Then when you have your token, you're going to want to run this command right here and just replace the ending with the API token that you just copied. And so then we're going to paste it into the terminal, click enter. And now we basically have Remotion connected to Claude Code. Okay, now we're going to connect Mapbox, which is going to be used for a layer animation. And this is the command right here that you want to do. So we're going to send that off to Claude Code. And as you can see, it confirmed that it has installed. So then when you set up an account with Mapbox, simply go into tokens, copy your token, and then get this command right here. And after the equal sign, just import your token. And then just basically paste that prompt into Claude Code. And now we can see that the Mapbox access token is connected. So now that we connected Replicate and Mapbox, we are going to create this animation. So I prepared this long prompt that I'm just going to basically copy and paste into Claude Code while I explain what this is going to be. So this is going to be a tree scene or tree composition process. The first scene is going to be a calendar booking, the second one is going to be a video call, and the third one is just going to show the call complete. But the difference here is that we are going to actually use AI images and AI videos to our advantage. We are going to create them and customize this animation. And by the way, I'll leave a link down below to all these prompts completely for free so that you can copy and paste them into your own workflow if you want. And you've seen how easy it was for me to just connect these extra tools. It's literally just importing a command into Claude Code. You don't have to be technical at all to do this. And if you are struggling with anything, you can simply ask another AI tool to help you along the way. If you're on Mac, you can press Shift Command 4. This will bring up this window, and then you can screenshot whatever you want, drag and drop that screenshot into another AI tool, and then just tell it to explain, give it your reasoning and explain your process as to where you are, where you want to be, what's going wrong, etc. Okay, and we can see the animation is done. It's called Call Flow, and it created the scenes. So let's check it out. Awesome, pretty good, relatively straightforward, fairly simple. But now is when the fun part comes in. Obviously, there's little tweaks that you can do here, like it's not clicking the exact date. Again, this stuff I just showed you in the previous composition, so I'm not going to go over that again. Instead, let me move on to step 2, which is adding a photo to the project. And so as I showed you, all we got to do is drag and drop our asset into this assets folder right here, and then we have it in here. And just for context, this is the image that I'm going to use. And so now that we have it, we're going to turn this image into an AI video without needing any external tools other than, messaging back and forth with Claude Code. And so in this prompt, I'm basically saying to use the Replicate MCP, which we just connected, with Google Veo 3.1 and generate a talking head video. The reference image is the image that I just uploaded. Then we have the prompt describing what I want and some basic settings. So then we're going to send that off into Claude Code once again. Okay, and actually it's giving me an error saying that it doesn't have access to the Replicate MCP, which is fine because we already connected the Replicate API, not the MCP. So I'm just going to say I have the Replicate API, it should be connected, and I think Claude Code is going to find it. We'll see. If not, I can just always send it over. But I think I made a mistake by sending this into the terminal instead of into Claude Code. So let me just send this into Claude Code because it doesn't seem to see my API. By the way, there's breaking news during recording because Lucy 2.0 just dropped. This is not sponsored, by the way, but I made a video on them previously, and it's basically a local AI video editing tool. It's pretty cool. I mean, I remember they had an open source model. I'm not sure if this 2.0 is new yet, but let me know if you want a video on this. And also make sure to follow my Twitter, which is right here. Okay, so we should have the video right now, but I'm wondering if it connected to... Okay, so this is weird. It did make a video, but it didn't connect it straight to the composition that I was hoping it'll do it in. I just have it as a video in assets, but let's check it out.
This sick animation you can generate in minutes just using simple words.
Okay, this is pretty sick. So I used Veo 3.1 to essentially create this video with a brand new background, obviously with the same clothes, with my face. Nothing is different. I mean, this looks very realistic, and I also added a voice. Yeah, this is getting pretty crazy. Okay, but the reason it didn't added to the composition is because I didn't read this prompt out loud. It basically just told it to generate the video right now. And so save output as an MP4 file. So yeah, that's the only thing I asked in this prompt. Because if you want to create these effects, you don't want to give it everything at once. That's why we're splitting this into multiple different prompts. So the next prompt is going to be actually adding this video to the animation. Now over here, it's specified that the video appears inside of the video call window as the person is being called. So if you open up the call flow, that should be in the second composition. And in theory, the video should pop up right here somewhere. So yeah, let's send off this prompt and let's send it off to Claude Code and I mean, let Claude Code do the work, you know? I really think most people just don't understand that their job is getting replaced in real time. If you are a video editor, you do need to start learning the stuff. You do need to start learning how to use the terminal, how to connect APIs. Yeah, because these tools are getting very powerful. So I still do believe that editors need to understand the fundamentals of video editing, of course. And it's going to take a lot longer for these tools to catch up to like the top editors who are insane in motion graphics, and companies are still going to want to pay you. But even if you look at something like Nano Banana Pro, I mean, to me and to a lot of other people I know, that replaced thumbnail designers because of how good it is. So I think that the gap between where we are and when these AI tools are going to be good enough to actually edit videos and create good motion graphics that are going to be used in a lot more videos is much smaller than everyone thinks. That's just my opinion though. Anyway, we have the animation, so let me open up this and I can already see that it's imported correctly, so let's play it.
Animation you can generate.
Okay, this is actually pretty sick. So it didn't just import the video into the box, it imported it at the exact time that it should be starting to play, which is once the call is actually joined. Over here we can see the call is being connected, but it understood that the video only plays when the call joins. This is honestly next level. Okay, but anyway, we're still not done with this one. Before I go on to the map animation, I want to finish this off and add a lot of sound effects into these scenes. So like UI interactions, transitions, video call events, all that kind of stuff. So we're going to copy this prompt you see on screen. Once again, if you do want access to all these prompts, I'll leave a link down below for you to download it. I'll just leave it there for free. So I'll go back into Claude Code, paste that in, send. Oh no, I just didn't connect this, sorry, that's my bad. So once again, if you want an API key, you simply go into any website that you need an API key for. You obviously log in or sign up. You go into the API key section, create a key. I'll just call this subscribe. And for these settings, I'm just going to unrestrict it, create key, copy the clipboard. And once again, this is the command that you're going to want to use. After the equal sign is where you basically put your API key. So we're going to copy this, go back into Claude Code, and then send it over here. I think it actually just wanted my API key, but I sent it the whole command, but doesn't matter. That's the thing about working with these intelligent models, you can make these little mistakes. Doesn't matter at all. Okay, so the MCP has been added, but we just need to restart Claude Code. Alternatively, you can use the NLabs API. Yeah, I'll just say use the API. We don't need the MCP, that's fine. And again, you can use this from many different aspects. I didn't even try this yet, but I'm sure that you can use this to create a voiceover that is going to be connected to the AI video you generate inside of a motion graphic that you created with AI as well, probably with a script that was also created by AI. I mean, this could be some sort of dystopian reality that we're entering into where none of the content you're going to be watching is going to be human generated. So yeah, I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see how fast that'll come, right? But there's also entertainment content. I'm just going to approve this. There's also entertainment content that is being extremely popular, and I'm finding myself actually enjoying more and more of it. Like for example, if you look at the Door Brothers, these guys are probably the best in the world at creating these AI images, AI videos. They do it all uncensored. But this is not what I think of when I think of, you know, sending one prompt into VO3 or whatever, generating a response. I'm not going to watch those videos, of course, but yeah, these guys are next level. I'd highly advise you check out some of their content. Okay, anyway, Claude Code finished up. So call flow should now have audio enabled, and it should have some sound effects. So let's check it out. Okay, so we can see in the timeline right here, we have one. Okay, this is a bit trippy. When I click here, like, interesting. So when I hover over the second composition, it kind of highlights all the other composition sequences because there's multiple different layers inside of one composition now. Let me try to expand this so we can see that they're hidden until I kind of hover over them. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. But we can see in composition 1 there's 3 sound effects, in composition 2 there's 1, 2, 3. Okay, so yeah, there's a lot of sound effects, so let's check them out.
Animation you can generate.
Yo, these sound effects are, this is mind-blowing. Okay, I am baffled right now because This is something that I might actually use myself. If I create a very cool motion graphic, I might just use this even for something like sound effects, or even for something simple like, importing this video. I don't have to mask, I don't have to crop, I don't have to add these icons. I mean, there's so many use cases for this that this is honestly so insane. Like, I know I've been hyping this tool up a lot throughout this video, but this is probably the most excited I've ever been for any AI tool in terms of, editing videos since I've made this channel. This is one of the biggest drops and biggest shifts in the way that we're going to edit videos in the future. So yeah, you got to lock in, master this tool, and find out all the different use cases for it. Because again, we're just getting started. I'm about to show you a completely new map animation that takes things to the next level once again. And I might even make a whole separate video showcasing many more different use cases that this tool has to offer. So if you want to see that, comment down below. Now that's the benefit of actually connecting these tools, because on screen right now, you can see if you go ahead and try to create a map animation, it's going to be pretty bad. It's going to be weak. There's not going to be anything to it. But by connecting these tools and by actually giving Claude access to the most powerful frameworks that it can use for specific animations, specific effects, these are the kind of results that you can actually go ahead and create with it. That's why videos like this are important if you actually want to level up and create even more insane AI animations. I got to give credit to Johnny Berger because he's the creator of this tool. And this is where I got the inspiration to actually create this next effect that I'm about to show you, which is maps. And again, if you followed along earlier, we added Mapbox into Claude Code. And that's exactly what we're going to use to create this animation. So I'm going to go back into Claude Code and I'm going to say, use Remotion best practices. Now this is an important prompt to actually give it so that it does use the best practices, or I think this is the agent skills that it then uses to create these animations. And I wanted to create a new composition and add a map zoom in it of LA while keeping focused on it. And I once done animate a line from LA to New York and make the camera follow it. Super simple prompt. Let's send it off. Okay, and we have our map generated. So let's go over to local host and let's check it out. So we have LA to New York. Okay. I mean, I'd probably cut out this entire beginning section because it's a bit too quick. It looks a bit chunky, but this second part looks very good, especially from here to here. It looks super clean. But even with that being said, this animation is still amazing. And there's so much more you can do to customize this animation. And there's also so much more that you can do to level up your AI skills as a video editor. And I covered every AI tool that you need to know about as a video editor in this video. So if you're interested, go watch that next.